So
But
what
hey, that's all about being persistent, right? So you had some failures, you couldn't figure it out, you kept trying, and that's as simple as just locating something in the settings or things like that. That's what but everyone likes to just make excuses instead of just keep trying, you know?
I'm getting a little fuzziness with the video though. It's kind of scratchy, but I'm getting through okay, right?
What's I always say the most important thing is if we could hear you. And yes, we could hear you clearly. Yes, it might be some glitches because you're on the other side of the world. You're somewhere. Where are you now?
In Jakarta, I mean, I said Jakarta in Jakarta time zone. I'm in Jimber. That's how you pronounce it. I always say Jember, but the real way is to say Jimber. little Indonesia pronunciation. I'm in Jimber, Indonesia. It's East Java, and I fly back home the 24th. Been a
Oh,
long time.
that's
This is my
awesome,
wife.
man.
This is my wife's hometown. Yeah.
Now, is your plan is to stay in the States or are you going to go back?
Huh?
Are you planning on staying in the US or are you going to go back to China? I know that's where you were working.
I'm gonna go. I'm going home. Yeah. I've got to build. I'm trying to build this, and then I'm trying to build. I have a business in Chicago, but I haven't been doing anything with it because it's really hard to do it overseas. Well, for me, but I've been learning a lot these last so many months to maybe a year. Um, 2023, I started the business and I couldn't even get it started. I couldn't figure anything out. I was having a hard time communicating back home, but it sounds like excuses, but it really wasn't. Technology wasn't the same.
Right.
Connection wasn't. I was living in China for years. I was teaching and stuff, and but I started a business. It's a cultural exchange business, but it's retail. It's trade. We're trying to get product from all around the world. So I can tell you more about that later. It just sat there. But now I've been building it a little bit right now because technology this year, well, actually from 2020, end of 2024 till now, it's so easy to communicate and network and do things from here and there. I don't know, I can't explain it, but before was different. And then I want to build this up also. I started this at the end of 2025, but now I believe in it. I see potential through what we talk about all the time, through relationship building, build relationships and build a business. I'm still working on my business, and yeah, people think it's. I don't, are we on or are we just talking?
Oh, we're recording. We're talking. I'm sending some DMs to people inside the academy to see if they are around to pop in. But go,
Okay.
keep going, man.
Yeah, the thing is, it's time for me to get back home, and then step into Chicago and get the company rolling. And then I'm gonna still work. I'm looking at a job with the University of Illinois Chicago. I didn't get it yet, but I interviewed with them. I made the second interview, so we'll see what happens. I just got the call today, actually. They gave me a call for a second interview. It's working with student athletes because that's what I do. I have many. You know me by now. I've worn many hats in my life. And a big one for me is helping student athletes transition from high school to college, through college until the end, until they get out. Because a lot of high school student athletes, even the good ones, come into college and they fall apart.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Being a student athlete, I mean, being a student athlete is a rough transition when you first step into college. I know I did it. My first year in college was not good, but then the rest was. That first year was and I was a good high school student. And I'm not saying to be conceited because I'm not a conceited person, but I love school. I
Yeah.
worked day I worked day and night, and I was a student athlete in several sports, and it was easy. But when I stepped into the university, I went to Oklahoma State University, and when I stepped into college, I ran track and cross country, and we were running all the time. You know, we there, we were getting up at 5:30 in the morning, and we were out running. And at lunch, we were doing weight. We were in the gym, the weight room. Then we had practice, and most of our day was sports. See, people don't know that about student athletes. Most of your day is athletically related. Oh, and
Right.
that's not counting the night study hall. At night, you have to go to study hall for 2 hours or more, depending on what you. Well, not okay. Let me rephrase that. Me was 2 hours. Actually, I was 3 hours my first year. It's 2 hours generally or more, but if you're a good student, you can get away with one. It also depends on the university, you know. But but my first year, I had a hard time, and so I was in there for 2 to 2.5 hours a night. And so the whole day was patterned for athletics and athletic academics, you know. And then when I worked for the National Football Foundation, I don't, you know that, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
When I National Football Foundation, my job was to build academic programs for high school student athletes. So it was easy for me because these are high school kids that will transition into college. Because I remember being that guy. You know, I was that guy. I'm not I'm not embarrassed to talk about it, but I'm not proud of it either because that was a 1 year phase of life that really kind of changed me because I was a good high school student. That first year was rough, and for some reason I couldn't make the grades. I didn't flunk, but I was getting a lot of C's that first year. You know, C's can make C's can hurt your grade point average. You know that, I'm sure. You know, C's will hurt you. So I was getting a lot of C's that first year. Um, I didn't get D's or F's, but I got a lot of C's, and I'm not a C guy, and I say that humbly. I gotta say that because we're recorded, and I don't want people to think that I'm conceited because I'm not. But I take pride in my work, and then and now, and I struggled. So I had to go to an academic advisor at that time, and that guy was a great guy. That guy changed the way I looked at studying from a university perspective. High school, I don't remember having to learn that. I just did it. But in college, I had to pattern it. I had to do certain things a certain way that was different from what I did the year before. So after that first year, which the grade point average wasn't good because it was my first year and I did bad. Well, C's, if you go straight C's, you're 2.0, you know? So it's bad. So then after that, I just went back up. And graduate school it was great. Life went on. So when I joined the National Football Foundation, my original job was supposed to be marketing with an NFL team. That was the plan back then, because that was my dream actually to work with an NFL team and be on their marketing team and build them. You know, but
Now let
then
me
when
pause you for a second. With Now you went to school for marketing. Is that what you were doing?
my first year, my first 2 years actually was marketing. But then I realized, you know what? I think I want to be a teacher. So I changed. After
God.
that first After that first year, I was still I had to play comeback in terms of I had to play comeback in terms of GPA. So I was doing a lot of writing and a lot of work privately with one-on-one with a university professor. And one guy was a history professor. He was a great guy. God rest his soul. He taught me how to research and write. I thought I knew how to research, but I really didn't. And he taught me how to research and write. And he was a Native American history teacher. I went to school in Oklahoma, so I studied Oklahoma history, Native American history, African American history. I studied a lot of histories. As you see, how I have the stuff in my community because history is culture. A lot of people don't look at that. History is culture. It's a big part.
Let's go down that as far as we're this is I want to help people understand how to connect properly. And I think the one big thing a lot of people are having trouble with is when you meet someone in 60 seconds, what do you usually share with someone when you're meeting someone for the first time?
Wait, wait,
I like
say that one more time.
listening to others, and this will help others figure out their like 60-second like intro. How would you start off a conversation when you met someone for the first time?
Well, okay, let me see if I understand this. So you're asking how would I start a conversation off for somebody who needs
Yeah.
somebody?
Yeah, if you were out and you were looking to grow, look, you would explain to someone what you do for a living. How would you kind of give a paint a picture for them in 60 seconds so that they would be now connected to you?
Okay, well, Um, like you're saying, like if I, mean, I just want to understand the whole thing. So you're saying if you meet somebody and and you want to know what they do for a living, right? Are you there?
Yes. Yep, exactly.
So
Like when I
what
for example, when I meet
what
somebody, I'm like, "Hey, my name is Sean Ziem. I'm the connection machine, aka the insurance doctor. I've been involved with building online for the past." I always tell people since COVID, I always looking to help others grow their business. So tell me something. What is new in your world? How can I help you? What are you all about? And then just let them.
what
And the,
can I cut can I cut you off, Sean, for a second there?
yeah.
You made a
Yep.
you just said something a second ago that I liked. You said, "What are you?" Did you say, "What are you aware of?"
Yeah.
I like those words, and I'll tell you why. Because you asked me what would I say, and at first it's I think before we talk to someone, we need to know we need to know what we're looking for first. If we don't know what we're looking for, we're not going to talk to them. If we're looking to build relationships, that's the first thing, and that's the easy part. If you
Right.
need their I think everybody, I believe everybody needs help from everybody. That's how I look at life. We're all human beings. We all walk this earth and we all do things no matter what they are. I wear many hats. I think there are many things that I could help somebody with, but like some people only wear one hat, but they're still a person. So you make the statement, what are you aware of? I like that because aware is a huge thing. What are you aware of in life? What do you believe in? What are your feelings on whatever? I think that's conversation. Um, Not saying whatever, but like whatever topic it might be. And then you just have a conversation with this person. You don't necessarily, I believe you don't necessarily look for the help, but you meet the person. And once you meet the person and then you're communicating, then they'll learn more about you. And then, of course, if there are things that they're aware of, maybe there's nothing that they can do to help you. But I don't believe that. I believe everybody can help everybody with something. And even if it's just a conversation, they can have a yay or a nay feeling about whatever it is that a person needs help with. Like when I see that in school all the time, you know, there's so many people that know so many things. Um, you just got to throw it out there. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but I like the word aware because if you're going to talk about 60 seconds, um, you could change it also. You could say, "Are you aware that blah 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 blah?" and tell them a story. And then maybe they're not, maybe they are. Then you're giving them. Then you're giving them something. You're giving them something, whatever it is, because there are so many things in life that people don't know. So we give them information. We give it to them just in conversation. They may not know of a certain historical fact, but once you tell them, then it's something they gained from the conversation.
Right. They gain
I don't.
some value. Right. And what you Constantine was saying is many people go into a conversation trying to sell something, their product, their service, their community, instead of like you were saying, is building a relationship. Everybody
Yeah,
can utilize everybody out there
yeah,
because we don't know who other people have in their network. That one person you might connect with today could lead you to a connection, to a connection, to a connection that will explode your business, your life in the positive manner because they know certain people, they know who to add you into to kind of tr- gain some more momentum. And that's something that people don't realize. They're all about, I'm going to pitch product and service. That's why I wanted to start, and I'm doing it in September, IRLs, the in real life meetups. And I'm going to teach people how to connect the proper way, have the conversations, have a 5 minute conversation. Actually, yeah, about 4 minutes each, almost like a speed dating thing, which I've created and I've met through and experienced through Katinka, who has got another community reinvention that I'm going to take it to a higher level. I'm going to teach people how to follow up with the ones that they're meeting because everyone goes to events, they get business cards, they take them, but they never meet, they never connect, they never continue building. It's just that one
yeah,
night. It's not all
right,
about the one night. It's about the building, planting seeds
Yep.
for tomorrow.
Yep. Um, you know what I like what you just said a second ago. You said it's not about the one night, it's about planting the seeds. And it isn't even about many people. And if I'm wrong with anything I say, you can just say, I don't agree with you. I want to know if people agree with me when I make a statement like, the people who chase the money from the, okay, I'm gonna go to this, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go there, so to speak. I'm gonna throw this statement out there. I made a post today earlier. People are chasing money. Okay, and we all are chasing money. I'd be a liar if I didn't say I wasn't chasing money. Money makes the world go round, and we chase it to make all of our lives better, and mostly our families and even our friends. It's more about them than us, so to speak. Blah blah blah. But if we don't have the relationships and we don't have the trust and the credibility that go along with the relationships, we don't make money. So, in making, and this is my feeling, and if you don't build a relationship from a sincere perspective, people aren't going to believe in you. Again, people may say, oh, they're building false relationships just to make money. No, it doesn't work that way because if the person doesn't believe in you, there's no relationship. It doesn't exist. So a second ago, you said, tell me, my mind just went blank for some reason. I just forgot kind of what I was saying. I
With
kind
the
of
in
forgot.
real life events about the follow-up is the most important thing is to get back in contact with everyone that you meet, and how teach people is you always do a screenshot or you do a selfie with them so that you go back in and be like, "Oh, I met Constantine today. I wanna," and you remember something that was in that conversation, or better yet, I like doing this. Take a selfie with someone, you get their cell phone number, you send them a text with the picture so that you both have who you look like, who you are. And hey, I just want to remind you, I had an awesome call with you or an
I think I
awesome
think
time. So, and I remember you talking about that you're into the NFL, and then it just starts. Now you could text a little bit on your phone. Hey, when can we have another conversation and or another meetup in person, which will continue
Sure.
building that relationship.
I'm going in and out.
Yeah,
Like my audio is going a little in and out. Can
got
you hear
you,
me?
got you. Yeah, I can hear you. You're all good on the audio. You're
Okay.
all it's all good on the audio.
Okay. So yeah.
Now, what has happened is what I'm trying to do is take the in real life, have those events, have connections, teach them about follow-up, allow them to come into the community now, which will allow them to see people show up daily, engaging the posts that I do each day that go for each um, daily discipline. And then we have a connection hours they can come to every week. They can do the next in real life. That's going to be the following month. And then also the virtual. So we can continue. The more that we see, the more we can also help recommend. So I always like having people that maybe they're in the mortgage business, maybe they're a real estate agent. That's why for my insurance side, hey, if I can know someone and I see you constantly, who am I going to recommend? That person. I'm not going to
Sure.
just recommend someone, and I know that person because over the course of number of days, weeks, months, I know them like I have never met someone before.
I like that. I like what you're saying right now because it's it's such a okay. I don't want to use the word funnel wrong. I asked you the other day what does funnel mean because I honestly didn't really know. But it is a funnel. Yes, it's a funnel of people. Am I wrong or right? Am I saying something correctly? It's a
We're putting
funnel
all
of
the people on the top. They're all coming from the top, and you're getting all the people in. And the more that you're communicating with, now you're bringing it down to people that you're really having a solid relationship that you could recommend, be like, they're vetted. I know Constantine is not going to bullshit anyone. He's truthful, he's
it.
upfront, and he will be the one that you need for X, Y, and Z. And then boom, that's your guy for this one. That's your girl for this one, etc.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I said I liked what you just said, because people, this idea of yours is kind of it's revolutionary to some degree, or yeah, not to some, it is revolutionary because people need to know who they're dealing with. People want to know who they're dealing with when it comes to life and whatever situation it is, and unfortunately, there are many situations where people would dig people up for services or whatever and do something with these people. And unfortunately, the services uh, didn't turn out the way they would hope they would have because the relationship wasn't what they hoped it would be. I'm trying to make this sound easy. I don't want to use big bad words because unfortunately, a lot of people. I mean, serious, because I don't want to sound like a negative guy, and I'm not. I'm a very positive guy. But unfortunately, a lot of people meet people and they interact with them and they build relationships, they build business relationships, and things just don't turn out the way they should have because of one party in the relationship not turning out to be what the other person may have thought. Blah, 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 So, but if you do it the way with this, that's what I like about school. We're meeting people, we're talking the way we're talking right now. When you talk to someone, I take pride in that the fact that I believe, I don't want to say I am this because I don't think anybody has the right to say they are something. I believe that I can judge people pretty good by just having
Right.
a regular conversation. Are you there?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And I think that's a good trait to have. That is a good trait to have for if people can do that. And I take pride in that. When I talk to people, I feel good about if I feel good about them, when I tell myself I feel good about them, I think it's real. I think that's what I see in school. We're all in the same boat together. We're all trying to do something. If somebody comes, I'm going to go back to the money thing because I've only been with school for a while, but people are chasing money. Which again, if you're just doing that, then and if I'm wrong, tell me. But if you're just doing that, then and I don't want to say anything because maybe there's somebody out there who just did that and they're successful. Wonderful. But then you're not, if you're just doing that, I don't think you're giving school the opportunity to benefit everybody around who is interacting with that situation. Does that make any sense? You know,
I agree with you. You come in, I always share this as far as having commission breath. If you are one that is all about chasing the commission, chasing the sale because you got to pay something because you have all these extra stresses on you, that people read that, they understand that. If you make the right connections and you live by helping others first, just like Zig Ziglar says, if I could help as many people get everything that they want out of life, you will get everything out of your life. You live that kind of motto, the money will follow. Because
yeah.
am I if in personally, I started my community in December. I had 13 members paid the first month. So in reality, my community was paid for itself. And I haven't had to worry about that ever. And I haven't worried about it. But recently, I've gotten the membership up to 44 people. But over the course of the number of months, it has, as we've mentioned, the funnel. So there's been people that are churning, they're quitting, they're canceling, they're leaving the community. So I have 28 people, 29 people in the community right now.
Okay.
Went to 44.
All right.
And that was like I was like sitting there going, "Man, am I doing something wrong?" No, my community is paid for, so I don't have to worry about that. I have to just I have to look inside and find out how can I help other people more. There has to be something that they gain. So that's what I found, and we've been talking about this. If people come into the community after an event that's in real life or a virtual event, and they see us showing up every day, communicating, we're in the posts, we're in comments, we're in the direct messages, we're seeing them more, we're going to recommend them more. You're going to make more money as well because you will have more people championing your cause because they understand who you are, they know what you're doing, they like you, and they trust you, and that's what we're looking to do.
Yeah. My audio is going in and
Ooh,
out
go
again.
get a Band-Aid.
Okay.
Hold on, my
No?
son has got to get a Band-Aid. Go upstairs and get a Band-Aid quickly. I'm on a call right now, please. Hold on a second. Can you go
Okay.
upstairs, please? I can't help you right now. Just walk upstairs. Look. Hold on. This is an example of having kids and collaborating. Hold on one sec.
My little daughter does that to me when I'm doing my research. It's like
Give me one
I don't have.
second. Let me go grab him a Band-Aid. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on.
Okay. Okay.
Dude, absolutely ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that you don't listen when I tell you to do something. Absolutely ridiculous. All you gotta do is go up there and get a Band-Aid. Alrighty. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, that's what happens. But this is what I
So
also want to do.
well, that's okay.
Hey,
My daughter does that to me when I don't have her around when I'm on school, but when I'm researching, I don't have time. It sounds bad, and it's not meant to be bad. But when I'm researching, I don't have time for anybody. I research all the time because, well, one, because I'm writing. I'm writing a book about a period of history that is not known. It literally is not known, and a lot of historians have never touched it because there's a lot of controversial beliefs one way or the other, like it's Chinese history, But I feel really good about what I found, so I'm writing it. I found a lot of good stuff about American history. This is the stuff I want to put in my classroom, but I'm trying to figure out how. Because honestly, I don't want to put all my research out there. Not that way, because I'll teach it, but why would I? It's such special research. I would rather give it in relationship building like this. Does that make sense?
yes. And now, as I'm listening to you, let's share a screen here. I want to show you something.
Yeah.
Let me go here. Can you can see the account? Let me just go here.
I can see
You
the
can
screen.
see this, right? All right.
Yep.
Notice, I want to show you something. See my how I've created um, basically images for each of my courses inside of the academy.
Oh, okay.
I always, as you can see, I'm just going to scroll down. These are old ones I just took out, right? Because I revamped things. Um, these are things that people can pay for or they could upgrade. You have access to because you're a premium member, but a lot of people forget about this. Now, I want to share your community. I want to just show you this is what it's all about, right? If I come over here and I don't know if you do this, but I kind of put people, I rank communities, I put them in my who I kind of engage the most. Well, what did I just pick the wrong one? Hold on. I moved mine. This one I wanted to move down. A buddy of mine, Tom. If you don't know, I think you might know Tom, but he was on the podcast recently. I put
Okay.
all the ones that I focus on the top of my list here,
All right.
and those that I pay for are here. Schoolers, I'm involved in. Like I'm heavily involved in Evolve, just like you are. We're in school templates. I love that one. People should definitely take a look at it. But if we come into um, yours, the Global United Understanding, we have 11 members, the classroom. I just want to just see how
Yeah.
you just have it green.
Yeah.
You can make this and change. You can change. I don't have the remote. You have the remote. You can change it for each of your courses.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And now, how do you do that? Get the remote, and I'll change it. You go. I don't have the remote, sir. It's next to you. If I go into my classroom and I click on the three dots,
Up in the corner.
and then give me 1 second. What, sir? I don't know what that is. I have whatever's on the thing. I know what you're saying, but you're not making sense. You want to have monster trucks? Give me 1 second, Constantine.
Okay.
That one? All right. You hit edit course. You could put your name. I always tell people this is a description for their course. You can have an ask Chat GPT to come up with a course description that's under 500 characters, so you'll
Okay.
have it fit in this box, and it'll sound the way. And then just look at it, tweak it. And if you have to tweak it again, tweak it. Be like, I don't like this. Can you do it again? And get something that's kind of. I use the word clarity a lot. It's very clear, so people understand what they're getting. If I scroll down, and then you can put you click on this, and you can add an image. This, if I take this away, it will just be blank. You click on the like box right in the middle here, and you can input an image that you created from ChatGPT, from Canva, from wherever
Uh,
you have, from an image on your phone, what have you, and then you hit publish, which you have all of yours published because you can see them. If you don't want people to see it, you hit this, and it'll be back to the draft. All right,
oh.
and you could also, when you have the courses, see it says free trial members can access. When they are in the academy for the 7 days, they can take a look at this, or you can click on it and make it no access, which I
Yeah.
actually I forgot. I have to go back and tweak this. So when you go into each of these, you can share what people are going to be able to see in whatever level. Also, you can make it so that it is not open. It's open at a certain level. So you make people do things before they get there. They have to buy it one time, or there's a certain amount of time as far as days they have to be in the community that they now have this released, or it's a private one that only certain people, because of a community that you develop, as far as maybe a premium or VIP. All right.
Okay.
Is there anything I shared that was confusion for you, that you don't have the clarity?
No, I play around with that a lot. I seen something different now that I'm gonna play with it more, but I have to I learned something just now. I've been very hesitant on putting certain information in because I know the research. I had to do the research to find this. I call it special information. It's information that nobody really knows. We never learned it in school, and heck, I didn't even know it from college. I found it. So I don't want to just put it out there and let somebody go and find it and take it. And in the 7 day trial, if this sounds bad, please tell me. I'm going to go out here and say it like this. But I don't want to put this information out there. I want to track them to the room, but I really want to track them to the relationship. And I keep saying that because that's what I believe in. Okay, I'm going to humbly say this. I always say that because I'm not a conceited person, but I know what I know and I know what I do. And I can build people when it comes to all of my classrooms. That's why they're there. That's why I have a lot of them. But I don't want to put certain information in there that I took a lot of time to research and find, and now I'm even digging deeper to to the research.
Here,
Why should I just give it to them? What if in 7 days they disappear and never come back, and then they have my research?
you don't.
And,
You
and,
could
and
set
I'm not,
this up. Check this out. Hold
huh?
on. I'm going to show you something. This is good.
Okay.
Live that we're doing this. If you go into your avatar upper right-hand corner, go to settings, and you
Okay.
pull up your community. So if I pull up my community, all right, go to, what am I doing here? Invite, general. What am I doing here? Oh, pricing. I'm not sure how you have yours set up, but if I have tiers, I have $10 a month or 110 for the year. And this is what you get if you come into the Connection Creator Academy. You're going to get the Connect method, the blueprint, access to the community and networking, accountability and motivation, and weekly discussion prompts. That's what I do every day. That's how people can get engaged. If you want the premium, it's 37 per month or 405 for the year. And you get all of this plus all these courses inside. So you can't get these
Okay.
courses right now unless you get to premium. You've been with me from the beginning. You were already upgraded here, so you already have the access. Those that come in now can't unless they come here. Then I have an extra piece that if I'm going to tweak this a little bit. If people want to be a sponsor for my in real life or the virtual meetups, because you're going to have an ability to speak or have a video that you can promote what you're doing to those that are involved with the virtual, the in real life, and also the marketing that I'm doing. It's $149 a month at $1640 for a year. So they give you a little discount if you pay in full. You get everything here, and all of these. Hopefully that changes what you're understanding as far as there is an ability to make it so that someone has to upgrade to get to that level of information that you're sharing.
Um, I'll tell you something. First, thank you. I like that. But you and I spoke about this several times. I think you'll remember when I mentioned it. And you mentioned to pick about three key things. Right? I have a lot of. This one classroom. It's one umbrella, but it's many issues. It's about cultural exchange, but now I'm trying to switch it. I'm trying to really switch it to second wind
Right.
because this is I've never written this down. This is coming on my brain right now.
This is good. This is recorded, so we can go back and
What
edit and
oh,
learn.
I don't care if anybody hears this and loves what I say right now and decides to run with it. Wonderful. But this is life. Okay, we live in a world of second wind. If you don't use your second wind, you're going to fail. That's the bottom line. I've been pushing second wind since I was using second wind. I was a little boy who was trying to run, and I used to cry because it would hurt. I was about 8 years old, okay? But after that first year, it goes away. Let me rephrase it. The second wind doesn't go away, the pain goes away. Now, people may say to me, that doesn't always happen. Yes, it does. It goes away. The pain goes away, the second wind does it. The second wind creates that force field, so to speak, and pushes it away. I'm going to say it just like that. People don't believe that. We have so many different things in this life that people, and I brought up the word divorce the other day.
Right.
People get divorced and people lose their mind. I, I'm not, I'm not just spitting information out. They lose their mind. There's so many stories that I've read about this man. Okay, let me slow myself down a little bit. I don't need to tell the negative stories, but you get what I'm trying to describe, right?
Yep.
Many people lose their mind, and they do unheard of things to themselves, to their families, to their friends, to people. But we don't need to talk about those negative things. But you don't have to. Again, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not even claiming to be one on TV. I don't know if you remember that. I don't know your age range, but but do
I'm
you?
going to be 50.
Okay, so we're in the same. So you must remember the days of, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor. I just play one on TV.
Yep. Yep.
Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Or am I that old? I turned 57 last week, and but there were commercials when I was young, and you were there too in those days. But I don't
Yep.
know if you remember. There were
Yep.
commercials, and they say he's a doctor in the movies, right? And so it's a commercial. He says, "I don't claim to be a doctor. I just play one on TV." So I joke all the time, and I don't claim to be a psychologist, and I don't play one on TV. And people don't laugh, and they're like, They don't know because they're young, you know? So, anyways, moral of the story is I don't think you need, I'm talking loud. I'm sorry. I'm walking. Really nice environment out here. Nobody's here. So, and I get emotional because, in a good way, because I feel like I'm right that it's all about second wind. So if you just be patient with yourself and you take the pain for at least a little while, then it will go away. It goes away unless you don't let it. That makes any sense, you know? So when I said divorce, a lot of people lose their minds and they do unheard of things, and just relax and take the pain. A lot of people think second wind's about running. It's only about running because psychologists like William James and people like that, because he's the one who really brought up the second wind philosophy back years ago. He related it to running, and runners really those days didn't even really know. They would quit. They would walk. I have never walked in my life. I suffered, but I never walked. Even when I was 8 years old, I would never stop. And to this day, if I start a run, I will never stop. And I get tired now because I'm older and I don't compete, and I run, but I don't compete until, in America, but here there are no races. You can never find one. But everybody thinks it's about running. It's about every single thing. It's about school here, not well, school also, but here. Again,
I
people are
think
looking,
Constantine, I think it's also about the process.
it's a,
Everyone has to fall in love with the process because yes, everyone wants the end result, but it's the work in the middle that's the most important that I love doing. Like when I was a baseball player, when I was younger, I would take extra swings after practice. I would stay after for fielding practice. I would do extra things because I love that. Playing the
yeah,
game is just showing off your skills, but the practice that a lot of people in the business world, they don't practice how they answer the phone. They don't practice how they present. They don't practice how to send emails, podcasting, getting in front of the video. They don't do anything and they just hope it happens. But if you fall in love with the process and you get that second win, you're not gonna give up when you should be staying the course.
yep. I love it. You said process because I'm going to go right back to what I was saying earlier. And we're talking about second win, and you're telling us your second win. You worked the second win, the win situation. Um, and I'll go back to the divorce. Many people fight in relationships in life. They do. Husbands and wives fight. Girlfriends and boyfriends fight. But if you learn about each other and you understand each other and you talk to each other and you communicate, the problems will go away if you're willing to adapt and change. Blah blah blah. We can talk about that forever. That is the process. If you play the process, I shouldn't say play the process, but you are. You adhere to the process because you have to adapt to it to make it work. Then the second wind kicks in and life goes on. So it could be anything. And that's what I love. And I'm not the one who created this stuff. There's psychologists who know all this stuff that are much better than me. But what I do know is it's real. And people aren't willing to fight. So even going back to school, many people will leave school because this school. Many people leave school because they aren't seeing the money. But
Right.
are they? But are they walking the process? I remember our first call, and I keep shouting out and giving you credit because it's real. If we didn't have that first call, everything changed after that first call. And I'm not doing anything. Okay, let me rephrase this. I'll get ready to say I'm not doing anything different than I was before, but I am doing things different because I'm doing. I don't know. I don't even really
You're
know what I'm doing.
aware. You're aware of what you should be
I like that.
doing.
I like that
Yes.
because when I look at my green wall, I'm proud. I'm proud of that green wall. I really am. If somebody out in the world calls me cheesy or weird or something, then they don't need to be around me because they don't know, or they must not be part of school because we're all in this together. In other words, I take pride in that because I don't feel like I did anything different, but I did. After that call, I took different steps. I last night I almost uh, getting I post all the time, but for some reason, I had to adapt to. I had like an eight showing on my wall last night, and I'm like, I'm not losing my flame. I'm not. I'm not. So I got on there and put something up. I don't really understand that how that works because I know I post all the time, but for some reason, and I don't know how the timing of school works in terms of somebody losing their flame, but I had like an eight. And I'm like, how do I only have an eight? So I posted some likes and talked to some people, and it changed. But I'm trying to figure out why was it so low. So I don't think I'll never lose that flame, that wall, because I won't. I don't know. I'm not. To me, it's important because, but I know that everybody doesn't follow that wall, and they're probably successful also in school. So I don't want to say something wrong because I don't want to
No,
knock somebody up.
I
You
want to
know.
double up on what you're saying as far as it's showing you're consistent. That's why you have the flame. And it's as simple as, and it holds you accountable. If people realize what it is, it holds you accountable to show up every day to do 10 things. And those 10 things can be commenting 10 times, liking 10
Sure.
times, which I don't recommend liking because it's just liking, it's not giving any value. But the most important thing is if you could do one post or two posts that people now are commenting on, you're getting the credit for each of those comments. You're getting the
Oh.
credit for all the likes that are coming from that one post that you've done, your second post. Or you might be on Schoolers and you get a post that's on Schoolers that's not self serving, not self promotion. Otherwise, it gets kicked out of there. But if it gets in there and gets engagement, people are liking, commenting, all of a sudden you're getting all these points. And now you're going to go from 10 points to I'm averaging 175 to 200 points a day. People are like, "What?"
Mm.
And here's my thing. Every morning I do an image post that I have a post I put inside of Evolve Now Social that has I was doing engagement posts. I'm just doing a value post. It doesn't make any engagement, but those are allow people to engage because they like it. They want to. They want to
Sure.
agree or disagree or give a comment. And they're commenting, liking, and it's doing things well without me doing anything. So I post in Evolve, I post in Mine, and once every couple days I post in Schoolers. I was posting in 10 different, 15 different communities in the past and was making my easily getting my points. But I'm like, I'm doing too much because some of those creators don't show up every day. So it
Oh.
shows Sean in there instead of Constantine. And I don't want to take over a community. I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to engage those that are inside, commenting and liking, mainly commenting. Do a couple every day. It's easy. You're going to show that you're consistent, but it's all about the value. If you're gaining some value, if people are learning from you, they're motivated, they're inspired. For example, Constantine, yes, since we last spoke, we haven't talked since that podcast. It went from a call to
Yeah.
a podcast. You have the green, and I appreciate you, and you definitely share the love as far as sharing that you have that consistency and have the flame because of it. But it changed the direction because you have been adding to your community. You're showing up every day. You're commenting. You're engaging, having direct message calls with people. You're meeting others. And you're all because I have people in my community that are now crickets. It's
Oh.
the momentum stopped because you know why? Shiny object syndrome, or they just don't have the motivation or the desire anymore. Some that flame that actually burnt out. But a lot of
Oh.
people, it's a shiny object. Oh, this, and you said money. Everyone thinks you can open up a community and make 10,000, 20,000 a month. There's people
Yeah.
making almost $1 million a month having a school, paying $99 a month. It's crazy. But that's why people are quitting. Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
making the money. But you don't have to. This is what I tell people on school in your own community that you can develop that are all people that like and will trust you more. You can earn recurring income without trading your time for money anymore. You don't have to. I'm a teacher. I have to go to school. I went to school this past week. I have to show up from 7:40 to 2:55 every day. Online, I can show up when I want to show up. We can build as a community. We can earn recurring income because people are coming in, paying a membership. If you have 3 people that come in that you bring in and refer, your membership is free. That's what I tell
Okay.
people. You bring 3 friends in, whatever community you want to pay for. Go in the community, bring other, hey, yo, you got to join this. They join, pay, you get a commission. Another person pays, you get a commission. You get 3 people, your membership's free. You get the content, you can continue growing, you can continue earning. But people are like, I don't understand it. Here's value for you. You can earn from school. Get people to start their own community. You make $40 per month doing just that. Let them set up. You help them. You assist them. You make $40 a month, which is almost 500 a year for one
Sure.
person. You can make money from an affiliate for a community that, like, for example, my community. I pay out 50% commission for every person that you bring in. You earn, it's $20 or $10, you make $5. If it's $20, you make $10 every month recurring.
Okay.
The last part, you open your own community. You have set your own fees like Constantine has. You come in, they pay, it's 100%. If it's $10 a month, you're getting $10 if you brought it in as the creator. But if I'm in Constantine's and I bring people in, I'm getting a percentage to earn from because I'm helping him build his community. So there's 3 ways that everyone can earn from, but people don't realize it. They think it's just, it's just a place to throw information. No, you can actually make money if you put some time in.
Yeah. I see that. I'm learning. I don't really know everything about it. I see that, but I don't worry about that part. I would like to if I can learn it and make it happen. But if people, I believe in the information. I believe in the relationships in general because I'll go back to my classrooms. There are things in there that I could build. Like I love the concept of IELTS because IELTS is something where you have to communicate to make it understandable. It's IELTS, right? Are you familiar? IELTS is
That is
international English. It's
that
international.
I've learned from you. I've learned from you by what that is. I didn't know
Yeah,
before.
you can't because I didn't know it before I moved to China, and I'm an educator, and of course I did SAT ACT stuff before I went to China, but I've been teaching IELTS for 11 years, and I love it. I believe in it because I know the tricks to the trade. There's things that people don't know about IELTS. It's a test that people think you need to just learn English. No, you could be a perfect English speaker, but if you get into IELTS and you don't do it their way, you're not going to. You may be lucky to give yourself a 6, and then you have to hope. You have to hope that your school will take a 6 because if you want to study overseas, you come from over here or anywhere outside of the United States, a non-English speaking nation, you have to pass the IELTS with the school's number and there's a way to do this test. So again, I'll say it, and people don't know this. A lot of kids, young people, even adults have to take this test if they get a job. Somebody gets a job in the United States and they're from Spain and they don't speak English, they have to take the IELTS. They have to come back. They have to pass it with a certain number, and then they get it. They can come and do their employment in the United States. Um, there's a way to there's a way to win with this. You have to introduce it. It's just like writing. I teach writing too. It's just like writing. You need to introduce what you know this part because I know you do. You need to introduce what you're getting ready to discuss it, and then close it down nice and sweet. In terms of writing, writing and speaking, which a lot of people don't even really know that. A lot of people don't really know how to introduce the topic and discuss it. They just start talking.
Right.
So going back to IELTS, you have to play it even. You have to play it even. There's more. There are more rules. If you don't introduce, you're gonna never get a 6. If you don't get a 6, you're never gonna pass that test. They won't pass you. And a lot of people don't know this. So you need to do a lot of communicating and talking and getting people to believe in you. And I do that. I've done that for years. Like, aside from teaching the actual test, I've had a lot of conversations with people like we're talking on Zoom meetings through COVID. During COVID years, I would have Zoom meetings one on one with kids. I had a kid that couldn't even speak English at all. And again, this may sound like I'm being conceited. I'm not. I'm just proud. I'm proud of the kid, and I'm proud of the fact that we were successful together. He got into University of London, and people don't know the university. Are you familiar with University of London?
No.
That's a powerhouse school,
Yeah.
top ranked top ranked in the world. They play around with they're ranked up there with the Harvards, and they're good. And they're top leading school in the global. And this kid is going to school there right now. I never thought he'd pass the IELTS. He struggled. He had a hard time, and he did it. Then I had a kid who was a powerhouse speaker. He spoke great English, but he didn't know how to introduce what he was getting ready to discuss. So, and then he didn't know how to write. So, if you could speak perfect English, you should be able to pass the IELTS. You should. But then he did. He ended up being successful. He got 7.5, which is wonderful. And he's at University of London also. They're here. They were here in China, or they're in China. So the moral of the whole conversation right now is, I'm pretty proud of what I've grown, how I've grown with the IELTS. I've never heard of IELTS before 2015 because there was no reason to me to understand or know what it meant. And I adapted to the test and learned the test, and I love teaching it. I love letting kids know the tricks of the trade because that's what they are. I hope somebody from IELTS doesn't hear me say that and start arguing with me. But then again, hey, why not? They can jump on my school site. We can argue forever.
That's
Because arguing is not a bad thing. That's what a lot of people don't understand also. Arguing is not a bad thing. It's actually a learning situation. So, but I am right in terms of there are tricks to understanding this test. You have to understand them, and you can research that line. You could find out there are a lot of people who would agree. You need to teach the test. You don't teach the English. You teach the test. It just is what it is. So going back to school, I would love to get tons of people to come in and say, "Hey, I want to be part of your school." Again, it's not a school community, or not a, it's not an IELTS community. It's an IELTS classroom in a second wind community. And people may ask, well, how does IELTS relate to second wind? There are a lot of kids who are good students, but they won't ever go overseas because they can't pass the IELTS. That's a brick wall. They need their second wind to kick in. So let's learn together, blah, blah, blah. I'm
Hey,
talking.
this has been, and I want to shout Constantine out. He shows up every day. He's been growing. He's been commenting, engaging, setting up calls. I had a bunch of people say they're going to show up today. I have connection hours every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm doing it on Wednesday, I believe. Let me just confirm. Inside the academy, let me just pull up. You go into the calendar, guys. You can see all this every Wednesday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. This is the longest I've done a recording for. Usually, I'm always known for video collaborations or the podcast. I usually keep between 30 and 40 minutes. We're over an hour, which is powerful. And it's something that each and every one of you can learn and grow. You can join my community. You can join Constantine's community. You can ask us questions. You can get involved. I have a 7-day free trial. Definitely come in. Constantine, do you have a 7-day free trial?
Huh?
Do you have a 7-day free trial for your community?
I'm actually, we're actually free until the end of August. At the
Okay.
end of August, we're not free, but even after August, yes, we'll have a 7-day free trial. Yep.
And he'll have that. So take us up, come in, take a look at what we're doing. We're going to end this recording. Give me 1 second.